see how many people on yours. Louie C. the Mayor checking in. Welcome to the podcast. Today I got Chief Branderburg here from the Key West Police Department. Thank you, Chief, for coming by. I know things are crazy and we're in a Category 6, and I know you must be going completely insane, but we're going to make this happen. So we got a couple things to go over, a lot of things actually. So come on in the video, share the video, turn the notifications on, and do the watch party so we can get as much information out to everybody. We have roughly 30,000 people in the city, 100,000 in Marathon, 100,000 in the county, all over. So we want to get as much information as we can out to everyone. So the idea is for everybody to share, turn the notifications on, watch parties on, and that's how we get information out. So first thing, we're live from our new studio. In part, thank you to FloridaKeysInjury.com, 302 Southern Street. Thank you, Mr. Mark Lyons, for your contributions to first responders in the community. So, Chief, let's get to the meats and potatoes. First of all, how's the family? How's everything going?
Things going good.
Okay,
Things
awesome.
good.
So you right here. You're on the official Louie C. the Mayor podcast, and we're going to get to what we call the meats and potatoes of what's going on. First of all, how long have you been chief now officially?
Almost a year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay, so they threw you a hell of a curveball, slider, fastball, knuckleball. It's like the Key West Conch State Championship, where you got a hell of a situation going, and we all do worldwide. But I think for the most part, everything is going very well, and we got essential and very good people, top of the line people working, and as we know, teamwork make the dream work. So right now, like I said, share the video, hit the notifications on, get the watch parties going, and let's get this thing moving along. So the first thing I got for you, Chief, is I want to thank you for your way of handling when the order came down to shut down bars and restaurants from the city, because it was a short window. It was a short window, and it's hard to get stuff out there in the capacity when you just get a little bit of time, and then you on the front lines. Your people on the front lines, they don't really want to have to shut anything down or whatever. But we got to do what they tell us to do. And basically, my business where I was at, Cowboy Bills 618 Duval, was basically treated very well. I talked to a lot of my colleagues on the street at 200 block, and everybody said that there was pretty much no incidents. And I think that day we got it in. By the next day, have you got a full 100% cooperation now?
I believe we have a full 100% cooperation now. That first night, yeah, it was certainly challenging for the officers. Captain J.R. Torres went out with a bunch of the officers and detectives, and they went out and they educated everyone on what the new rule was, and in very short order we were able to gain compliance from nearly all bar owners and get it all done. So yes, we thank everyone for their cooperation and helping us to make the community safe. And
I personally want to give a shout out to Mr. J.R. Torres. That man has been around a long time, and once again back to state championships, 11 state championships in Key West. That man is on the ground, and he basically goes out there, he's on the front lines, and I think he did an excellent job, because I come from the school of working with Mr. Donnie Lee, which I know you work with him very closely, and a lot of y'all don't know this, but you're going to find out today. That man was our manager on our baseball team for the Key West Conchs back in the day. That's how we met. And this is the Louie C. the Mayor podcast. Now we got statute of limitations, so we can say this. So that man, Donnie Lee, back in the day when he was a kid, he used to have some fun, and his dad had kind of like a police car, like the Lincoln cars, and he used to pay cops and robbers out there just pulling up on scenes or whatever. But we all do stuff when we're kids, so that was a pretty interesting thing. And I think as you know, 10 years, I would have had like almost, what was it, how long
10
was it?
years.
10 years. It's hard to please people, everybody around here, like anywhere in the world. But basically, I know you was with him. How long have you been in the force completely?
18 years now.
18.
Yep.
And how did you start? Just
started out as a patrolman.
Okay, worked your way up the ranks.
Yep, all the way through.
Nice. Okay. And I guess the second question is, any major crimes in the city based on the COVID-19 situation that we got going on?
For the most part, most people are behaving themselves quite well. No real incidents that I can talk about right now or anything that we need to talk about right now. Everybody's doing good. I encourage everyone, take care of your neighbors, watch out for your neighbors, watch your neighborhood. A lot of people are staying home like they're supposed to. Right. Be home, stay home, watch your neighborhood. If you see something, give us a call.
Okay, so I don't go out at the house unless I have to. We're not out here playing around. I'll tell y'all when it's time to turn up. This ain't the time to be turned up. This is the time to be smart. I will tell you one thing though. We don't need to panic because I think we got a good handle on what's going on down here, especially with everybody on the doctor side, medicine side with the hospital. So everybody knows exactly what they need to be doing in order to move this city forward. Because imagine those poor people in New York, what they got to deal with, and that those police chiefs and commissioners and the governor. That's a lot of stuff. Not saying that this is small potatoes, because there's no potatoes is small for this or whatever. But we have one thing, and we talked about this in depth yesterday with Dr. Burrows. We come from the school of hurricanes, hurricane preparation. Not the 305 Miami hurricanes, but real hurricanes preparation. And I think, and I'll say this, that our staff, all of you guys, are the best people living in the world today to get a city back to its feet after hurricane. And the facts are, it's hard to please people around here. 9 days, I'll say it again, 9, not 14 or 22 after Hurricane Irma. That's how many days. So for the prep, and then afterwards, we was up and running. So to me, 9 days is like, a day or whatever. That's pretty fast for that much stuff that we had come through here, and you was an essential part. And I know we had communications breakdown. The media left the city, but with the team, we got the Facebook Live platform going that we did, and we got everybody on the same page. And I thank you for that, because you understand, these guys on the front lines, they put their life for you guys, all right? They can leave here. I told the city to go ahead. I don't think they should have stayed for this one, because I just thought that this was really bad. Look at the step that the sheriff took about evacuating the jail. So these are major steps, and here we are. So this is different. The only positive I would say is that you're not going to have power off. You could be comfortable with your home or whatever. So once again, like you say, no business in the street. Stay out the streets.
Right, and hurricane parties not the time for hurricane parties, right?
Right.
Social distancing means stay away from people. So a hurricane party with 20, 30 people, not the time for it. Right. Wait till it's over.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna go one step above that. I don't play with hurricanes. I do the biggest party. I'll do 3,000. This ain't the time to do it, because I don't play with hurricanes. It's not the time to play. I don't argue with my family. I came from the old school of being brought up with a lot of these founding fathers around here, and I go very simple. I just ask you one simple question about a hurricane: are we in a category 1 or above? If you give me the first answer is yes, then my next question to you: are we in a cone of concern? If I get two yes, I don't care what you're talking about. Why? I'll follow that. It's like kind of like when you play blackjack. If you're a good blackjack player, you basically go with the I'm going with that. And this one that happened took a crazy turn, because it was not only in a certain area, you couldn't evacuate unless you left the state. So it was crazy. Okay, also, there's rumors, and let's be clear here on the podcast, there's rumors going around about certain things. So that's why we got the chief here today to basically clarify this. I need y'all to share the video, put on notifications, do watch parties, continue to do that, please, so we can get the word out. So there's rumors of police pulling up on people and just asking them for IDs. So can you elaborate on that? I tell people that's not true, but here's the official man that can tell you.
No, we're not. We should not be doing that. We're not out doing that. We're not checking people's ID. You don't have to be a citizen of the city of Key West to be in the city of Key West. Officers may pull up and ask you how you are, what you're doing, if you and your family are all right, if you live around there, because we're concerned about our community. But, as far as having to have an ID to be out in the street, no.
Okay, so you heard it there from the #1 law enforcement in the city. So this rumor's over with. That's not true. And I myself, when I go out on the streets, I haven't seen a lot of activity on the streets. I think it's been very low key, and a lot of people are not going to be in the streets. So for what I've seen, I'm not out here on a patrol or anything, but I've seen all I can speak for myself. And, these guys put themselves at risk because they got to have, by I guess, I don't know if it's force, but they got to do their job. So they got to interact with people, whatever. We want everybody to be safe. We want firefighters to be safe, the police to be safe, the city to be safe, all front lines, and everybody to be safe. And we'll get through this. I promise you, don't panic. We are going to get through this. There's no questions in there for about it that we're going to make it happen. Also, have you set up extra patrols based on the COVID-19 situation?
We have extra police officers out, making sure everybody's behaving, that no extra crimes are being committed. We've adjusted the hours of some of the detectives so that we have detectives available at the station or out in their cars during more hours of the day and night than we normally do. We've also made it so people can phone in reports. You can phone in a report, especially during the day. I have extra officers manning the phones during the day. And it's not that we don't want to go out and see the public. It's for everybody's safety that we not come out right now. So, of course, for the heinous crimes or bigger crimes, we do come out. We're still out there in force, and we'll come take care of anything you need taken care of. But if you have, a lost bicycle, a lost phone, you can phone those in. Just call dispatch, and they'll let you know whether it's something you can report over the phone or not.
Thank you, Chief, for that. And I'm gonna keep this 100 because that's the only way I know how to go is 100. So some of y'all listening on here from the streets, okay? This ain't about snitching or anything like that. This is about life and death. So if you see a son of a gun out on the street or whatever, we know who's from around here. We know who's out of place or whatever. You think something's going on, I advise you to go ahead and call the police and let them know, because one of your family members might get dealt with. This ain't snitching. I'm just keeping it 100. That's what I would do. That's what I'm going to do. If I see something in my neighborhood that's out of whack or whatever, there's two ways to handle things. But the best way I advise to handle it is basically, folding in like the gentleman said, and keep it moving out here, because we're all trying to live. Everybody trying to live. And as we seen during the hurricane, we had people come down and try to take advantage of what's happening. We're going to run you from higher. We have an old code. Sheriff Ramsey taught me this back in the day or whatever, like the old movies where we still can run you out of the county, the county jurisdiction. We're one of the few people that could do, and we could keep it from around here. They even order you to be out of the county. So basically, let's go by. On top of that, as you know, 911 is open 24 hours, and we have the non-emergency. What's the non-emergency, Chief?
305-809-1000. Program it into your phone. 305-809-1000. That gets you straight to our communication center.
Okay, and then the city also has got a hotline based on the COVID-19 situation. That's 305-809-1101. So basically between what the city is doing, so we basically got two 24-hour command posts going full throttle. So I'm telling you, I promise you, we are full throttle, engaged, ready to go. Operation White House down here. We're ready to go to make it happen. Tomorrow on the podcast, Superintendent Porter is very important. A lot of people don't know what's going on at the school. The school board is doing a great job because they're sending out messages. Also, I forgot to tell you this, Chief. Harry Russell, thank you so much for making this happen. We communicated with the superintendent, and the superintendent is going to let us fire up any information on the 24-hour call. It don't have to be school related. So let's say you have to have something, they're going to say on behalf of, this is a school board, on behalf of whatever Kwpd, and that's one button. So between what we're doing, Wild 92.7, everybody out there, we can get this information. We want to be the best people. We want to give the people the best service that we can across the board from top to bottom, so like that we can help people, whatever. We want to say, wow, Key West is a template on how you should handle crisis. We're already ahead of the curve because we deal with hurricanes. They don't have the fire drills in a lot of places every year. We got a damn fire drill every year going with hurricanes, sometimes multiple. Chief, this one is critical. I'm going to have to ask you this one. So a gentleman named Donald Trump said he wants the whole nation open up by April 12th. Did you see that?
Several people have told me that.
What's your opinion on that? I mean, I seen that. I barely looked at it. I get all the detail, but it's factual. He said he wants the nation to open by April 12th. What's your opinion?
I hope for the best, plan for the worst, right? But,
Exactly.
and whatever the doctors say, the doctors know whether that curve is flattening out,
Yep.
and whether it's going to be safe for everybody to go back to work. That's what I got to go with.
I think that's fair. And like I said, we all want to get through this as quickly as possible, but we want to live, right? We want to go and turn the club up, right? But we can't turn up right now. It just is what it is. And we're working on other stuff also. We're going to have, what's today? Thursday, Joe Walsh is going to come on the program, and we're going to reach out to service industry people and all types of people who are not guaranteed to get a check. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this straight up, and I'm going to say this again. Y'all need to put respect on Joe Walsh's name. That man is feeding 400 employees 2 meals a day and his families. So if you can afford to do that, your employer in Key West, I ask you to follow suit to that, because this is huge. People have to eat. And you might not be able to do 63 hours that you used to do, but maybe you could do 23. We'll help people, and God will bless you. Also, and you could go ahead and tell me what points you got. We talk about these different things. You said there's some scams going on, and I want you to talk about GoFundMe. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, and you go ahead and say whatever stuff that you need to get out there, please.
Yeah, I've seen some reports of scams out there, whether it be door to door. There are no door to door COVID testings. There's no door-to-door sales of things that will protect you from COVID. The phone calls that are coming in. If you get a phone call from someone and you don't know who it is, or you don't give them your name, don't give them your date of birth, certainly don't give them your social security number.
Thank you.
Hang up, Google what their phone number is, and then call back and see if that's
If
really
it's
who
too
it
good
is,
to
right?
be true, it's probably not
Probably
true.
is.
Okay.
Probably is, right? So I don't want to see anybody taking advantage of any scams or online or phone calls or anything like that.
Okay.
If you're going to make donations to someone, vet who you're giving your money to, right? Find out who it is, make sure you know the person, and make sure it's really going to who is asking for the money.
The GoFundMe accounts that I've seen out there, we have not officially endorsed any, not because they're not legitimate, because we haven't got confirmation 1,000%. So if we endorse some and it's not good, we don't want to put you out there. So if we just don't do it, just to be on the safe side. So anybody's got a GoFundMe account or whatever, we can get the word out there for you or whatever, but we got to know exactly what's happening. And that is absolutely fabulous. And also I heard something with Keys Energy, that basically calling people and saying that they're going to disconnect your power if you don't pay a bill. This is a scam, 1,000%. So all this stuff, there's vouchers out there. They take advantage of the elderly and people that don't know. So check on loved ones, check on a neighbor. If you have somebody that just go over there and knock on the door and say what's going on. Check on people. This is the time. There's a lot of time going on now, whatever. Check on people. You cannot do enough. Check on people. Anything else, Chief, that you want to get out there that you have for the podcast listeners? Please share the video, notifications, do watch parties. Anything else you can think of off the top?
Again, don't be congregating. If you're checking on your neighbors, 6 feet apart, right? Knock on the door, step back,
Right.
Make sure they're all right. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
If you have their phone number, text
Common
them,
sense,
right?
Yes.
And just take care of each other. We know how to do it. Like you said, after every storm, we demonstrate what a great community Key West is, and I think we'll continue to do that.
No, I think that is fabulous, and y'all just keep doing what y'all doing. Do not panic. If you watch enough media, they'll definitely, I guarantee you, if they had to check the rate of people's hearts in the world today, boy, we went up I don't know how many points, because it make you say, well, right now, make no bones about it, we're in the goddamn movie. This is a movie. Usually you go to the movie and you're out of the movie. We still in the movie. We ain't out the movie yet or whatever. So this is incredible. Nobody living has experienced this. I mean, I know there's been stuff, way back in the day, but it ain't like this or whatever. So this is brand new. We just winging it as best we can. So there's no book, there's no playbook, there's no statutes written for it. It's just a lot of common sense and listen to experts. And that's all I can say. Any closing words, Chief, before we get out of here? Because I know you got a lot of stuff going on.
No, just, we're being very fluid. Every day we're taking it a day at a time. We're talking to law enforcement agencies around the world, seeing what's working for them, what's not working for them. And, we're going to continue to do what's best for our community.
Nice. Mikey Story, I see you. Thank you, sir, for all your help today. Sorry, I can't shout out everybody. But I love y'all. All grievances is put to the side right now, for the greater good of mankind. Louie C. the Mayor, Chief in the building. Thank y'all for watching. Tomorrow, Superintendent Porter, have a good day. Stay safe and stay distant. Holla!